A former gym teacher spent Thanksgiving in jail accused of sexting a boy who was barely a teenager and plying him with DoorDash orders of McDonald's. I'll take you through what detectives said Yesmar Ramos Figueroa did and how her alleged actions were discovered.
Lock her up. Lock the dumb bitch up. Immediately.
Accused of 2 felonies involving a 22 years. Welcome to Crime. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Yesmar Ramos Figueroa, she's just 22 years old, and she is accused of 2 felonies involving a 13-year-old boy. Ramos Figueroa was a gym teacher at Central.
Whoa! Lock her the fuck up. Like,
Point Christian Academy. That's a private school in Kissimmee, Florida, about 25 miles south of Orlando. Ramos Figueroa was a PE teacher at the school until this past October. That's when detectives with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office say a boy's mother
ruined her little old life. Yep.
Was told during a parent-teacher conference that there were concerns that her son and Ramos Figueroa were having some type of relationship. Detectives say the 13-year-old boy's mother confronted him, and he told her that he and Ramos Figueroa had been talking since August, but nothing physically sexual had taken place. The boy said they had sent messages back and forth. This was...
You dealing with a young nigga. Below the... This nigga is 13. Nigga just turned 13. Yo, this nigga just turned 13. Bitch, you're 22. No, this is fucking wicked. Before the lady talk, this bitch is wicked right here. How do you expect this not to get back to you? And accountability not come back full circle knocking on your door to serve you, to subpoena you. Cause what the like, a 13-year-old boy, you his teacher in his class, and you flirt with him, woo, bro. You trying to groom this little boy. That ain't flirt. That ain't flirting, bitch. That's grooming. You flirt with men in your age range. 13, that could be your child, bitch. Well, your little brother. You know what I'm saying? Your little brother. That could be your little brother, your little nephew or some shit. What the hell? Like, these women, man. That's how low you bitches get? We got women like this in society that'll go this low? I know niggas that go this low. Not the niggas I hang around on me now, but get these niggas out. But there's always going to be a type of man and woman like this, or a weirdo type, you feel me? Because the matrix in the game will always have to be played, no matter who you are, what type of race, skin tone, whatever background you come from. You gonna have to play the game, and motherfuckers is gonna finesse the system, do whatever they have to do to get their rocks off at the end of the fucking day. I'm doing this because I love this. I'm getting my rocks off doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting fulfillment doing this. You did.
Reported to the sheriff's office in October, and the boy's mother gave her son's phone to the detectives to download. Dumb. Here's a brief sample of what the detectives say.
This dumb bitch really thought it won't gonna get back to her. Like the little boy got some maturity about himself. This nigga's 13. This could be your little brother. The fuck?
Ramos Figueroa sent to the teen
Figueroa.
beginning in late September.
She's
the
a
truth
whore.
is that I do like you. The next message says, how do I not like you when I talk to you all day? I be with you all the time. Like what? Another message said, love you, with a lot of U's on the end. On September 27th, detectives said Yesmar wrote,
if this is love, and she's saying it multiple times, yo, if this is love, I don't want it to ever find me. And if this is what you bitches be calling love, I don't ever want to hear it.
To the teen, ¿Cómo estás? I missed you. Again, with all those U's on the end. Another on the same date read, I don't know. I just be thinking about you a lot. Day 2, Kara, just you. And then she wrote,
she texting this nigga like he is in control and full access of his own belongings. His mama overseeing everything. He's probably still wearing what his mama tell him to wear. Bitch. What you find admirable about a young kid? And what you can't find in the adult marketplace. You know what I'm saying? You a buffoon if you don't think that his mama overseeing his electronics and things like that. The fuck? Especially his phone. He on her phone bill. He under her roof. Where the fuck do you think you linking him at? This nigga's only 13. It was sad, yo.
you're welcome. I love you too. Now I'll get to what else detectives said they found on Ramos Figueroa's phone in a bit, but first, I want to tell you a little bit more about what detectives said they found on the boy's phone. The detective said the boy had been sharing his location with Ramos Figueroa, but then it was turned off. Detectives wrote in an affidavit, Yesmar then began texting the boy, asking why he turned the location detection off, and eventually sent a message of the following.
She's so federal. Why the fuck, like, why are you texting me so much? Why are you talking so much? Like, if you wanted it to be low-key under the table, okay. Bitch, why are you texting and conversating like you my girl? We not, what the fuck? We not about to have no relationship. I'm 13. My dick just, my ball just got. Like, that's how little bro thinking. He just bagged him a baddie. Hey, fool. If she put it on my nigga, this low-key fucking up his motion. But it's like, on the other hand, on the upper hand, she nasty as fuck. You feel me? She nasty as fuck. My little nigga, he don't deserve this grooming type of shit. He probably ain't even the, he you know what I'm saying? Because if he was, this shit wouldn't have even been on the screen. So it's like, clearly that dynamic wasn't even like that. Clearly his mama was overseeing his electronics. Clearly you a nasty grooming stank. This shit is disgusting type of behavior. Dispitious type of behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Got home. I don't know what's wrong with you. You turned your location off. You didn't even answer me, nothing. But I just want you to know that I love you, that I am absolutely sorry about anything that I did to you. I regret what I did because that literally made me ruin all of the good we could have. I know it seems like I don't know about us and about anything, but I promise you that I do. You mean more than you think to me. Yes, I broke a promise to you, and I know it'll be hard to believe after that, and I understand that. But I want you to know that I'm sorry for real, and it won't happen again, and I'm not going to just say it. I'm going to show you it, but anyways, I just thought I should let you know this. Hope you have a good night. Love you. Detectives said they found photos.
So damn disingenuous. Before we get into these photos, so damn disingenuous of her. But we all know them hoes. Send that fake ass paragraph or fake ass text. We all know that shit is disingenuous, bitch. I ain't reading that shit, bitch. Thumbs up. Next time I text you, you want to see me? Okay. Hit, bye. On some shit. But that's besides the point. This woman, not her, but Figueroa, she's a teacher in that school, meaning she's in that bit with other students. That bitch is preying on other students as well. He ain't the lucky one. He ain't the first one. He wasn't gonna be the last one. She probably gonna get a new job, whatever, and find her mojo in a different type of space. But in that space, he wasn't the first one. That's all I'm saying. She been having eyes on young niggas.
Of Yesmar Ramos Figueroa on the teen's phone. Detectives said one of the photos showed a person sitting while wearing a red hoodie and black string underwear. The hoodie is lifted and the lower part of the breasts are exposed. The picture is taken of the reflection in a vanity mirror. Another photo showed a person sitting while wearing tan string thong underwear and a black top. The photo was taken from above with the focus of the photo on the buttocks. There were two other photos that detectives described. One showed a person wearing pink underwear and white shirt, which is raised and exposing the lower part of one of her breasts. The picture is taken of the reflection in a vanity mirror. This appears to be the same vanity mirror from picture one. However, the lights are illuminated in the mirror. And the fourth photo showed a person wearing a yellow thong underwear and a white top. The picture exposing the buttocks, which is the focus of the picture. Now, all of this prompted detectives, of course, to interview the 13-year-old boy. Detectives said the teen told them it began after normal school hours while he was alone in the classroom with his PE teacher, Yesmar Ramos Figueroa. The boy advised his teacher was looking at her TikTok, so the boy showed her his TikTok, and later that evening, she requested to be his friend. The boy advised that he reached out to her and said, "Hi, miss," and she responded back. Yesmar then asked the boy for his phone number, but instead of providing it to her, he asked for hers. The two of them began texting back and forth. The boy advised that he thinks the teacher thought they were in the talking stage, but he was just playing along with her. The boy stated she would say, "I love you," and he would sometimes say it back. He did say that when he wouldn't reply back, leaving her on read, she would ask why he wouldn't say it back to her. Now, the detective said the boy told them that Ramos Figueroa sent him a naked photo of herself to him, but denied that he sent any to her. The detective wrote in the affidavit, the boy advised,
"She's cooked. She's cooked. She's filleted. Like, oh my goodness."
That they would FaceTime with each other and that she would be in her bedroom in her bra and underwear. When I asked about photos, he advised that she sent a photograph where she was completely naked. He believes this photograph was taken in the bathroom. He denied sending any pictures to her. The boy also mentioned Yesmar would ask if he was hungry and would DoorDash McDonald's to his residence for him. There was another time she sent him $30 via Cash App. Now,
tricking on young nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, this wasn't the first young nigga she been doing this with, my nigga. And it won't be the last.
When Yesmar Ramos Figueroa was approached by school officials in early October, they were obviously suspicious about her relationship with this boy. According to detectives, Yesmar Ramos Figueroa texted the boy, "No, listen, like for real, I need you to know that I do care and I do like you. I don't know how many more times I gotta tell you, or WTF, I gotta be honest. I don't want to keep with the BS that you think I'm just playing with you or wasting your time." She then said, "They just asked me again the same thing and brought HR," and she explains HR means human resources. She then writes, They
Hey, they caught on. They finna pack her the fuck up.
part of like the administrative staff when things happen and whatever. Obviously, she's explaining to this boy what HR is. On October 3rd, Ramos Figueroa told the boy, just stick with your story and don't change anything. If you've ever suffered from stick with your...
Who said that?
On October 3rd, Ramos Figueroa told the boy, just stick with your story and don't change anything. As things need us with tating, no or active treat 100 from to book. To discuss these allegations, let's bring in Dan Shore. He's a former sex crimes prosecutor and also the author of the novel Open Bar. It's about teachers who commit sex crimes and academic institutions. Thanks so much, Dan, for joining me. Talk to me, if you would, your first thoughts on what we're reading in this probable cause affidavit for the arrest warrant. You know, it's another one of these cases. And what struck me was how young Yasmar Ramos Figueroa is. She's 22 years old, a PE teacher. You got to think this is her first job.
Right. It's a really disturbing fact pattern that's laid out in the arrest warrant.
Why would you think this her first job? She 22. She could have plenty jobs, my nigga. What the hell?
The boy who is the alleged victim here is only 13 when she's engaging in this activity with him. And we see a lot of patterns that we see in a lot of cases, that this isn't an isolated incident, according to law enforcement, that there's a pattern of grooming involving electronic messages and images being exchanged, and that this was going on for some period of time. Also, like in many of these cases, it was discovered by a parent of this boy, and that's how it was reported. That's often how these cases come to light, that another person notices what's happening and decides to report it to the school or law enforcement. And it's concerning because this 13-year-old is experiencing a lot of inappropriate, abusive interactions with this teacher who, yes, she's young, but she's 22, so she's over the age of consent. She is a teacher. She's an authority figure, which makes it even worse.
What kills me about this is the McDonald's part. You know, I read this whole thing about how she would ask him if he was hungry, and she would DoorDash McDonald's.
Are you the most airheaded bitch on this panel? Bro, here too. Look at how I'm thinking, like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the most interesting, and no. Y'all let me know what y'all think as well in the comments. But me personally, Shawty in general is a problem. She was sending naked, she was sending naked attachments to my youngin. Along with FaceTiming my youngin. Naked, basically. You know she was playing with herself on the FaceTime. You know she was playing with herself on the FaceTime. These bitches is crazy, man.
To his house. I mean, it's so wild. And she is apparently, allegedly, this is the allegation, sending him money on Cash App. I mean, this is like the 21st century version of somebody luring a kid, to the car with candy or something like that. And this is worse because she's accused of doing this in a school setting, and she's plying him with McDonald's, money on Cash App, and then she's like, "Oh, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday?" And he wants sneakers, and he never got the sneakers. But still, I mean,
I can see what she's saying. Now she give me some more. I understand what she's saying. Two things can be right at the same time. Let's get it like that.
Dan, I mean, I unbelievable.
Right. It's very disturbing to read all of that and how thought out this was. And we see this pattern a lot where there are gifts given to someone who an older person is trying to groom, trying to get them to trust them, to feel an affinity towards them. Gifts also can help isolate someone away from other people because they become dependent on the older person. And as you were just saying, this is a new version of this in terms of the technology being.
Her pretty dumbass do not need to be in prison.
Used. It's no longer just in-person gifts. There's now Cash App and DoorDash, and there's so much there's a lot of electronic communications between them. So this is how a lot of the grooming occurs with sex abuse cases that we see nowadays that I investigate in my work.
The text messages are somewhat unbelievable. I mean, it's bad enough that we're talking about the images that she's accused of distributing, the photographs, and the descriptions of the photos and the videos are quite vivid. And so we know that she was sending scantily clad images of herself to this teenage boy from the affidavit, from the phone dump that they got. But the text messages are right there in black and white. I love you. I'll wait for you. And it goes on and on and on. And, the boy tells the cops, I would say I love you back and things like that. He's 13. I mean, he's a 13-year-old boy. I mean, a 13-year-old boy can't consent to any of this.
Right. And it's clearly this teacher is trying to show this boy that she cares for him. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. But that is textbook grooming to show that we have a special relationship and I'm there for you and I love you. And it makes the younger person trust them and be less likely to report them. It also shows a brazenness on the part of this teacher because to do all this electronically, to have these messages that are discoverable by law enforcement that this boy can also share with other people, because we've had other cases where they've done that, that is very brazen because it's easy to be caught and they've done.
Them nails ugly as shit. What the fuck is this? Bitch, you got a goddamn Happy New Year's globe bowling ball plus the phone case. This bitch out of her mind. Out of her fucking mind.
That is very brazen because it's easy to be caught, and this teacher is trusting her life, her career, and her freedom because now she's arrested on this with this 13-year-old boy that he's going to keep a secret what she's doing. So that is definitely something that was very poor judgment, to say the least, on her part. Not to mention all
her risk to reward ratio was so fucking low. Like, oh my god. I don't know what she was thinking, but I don't even think she was thinking at all. Fuck.
All the scarring that this is going to leave on this 13-year-old boy to have this introduction to relationships and sexuality through this highly inappropriate, abusive relationship with an authority figure who's his teacher.
One thing that was refreshing and reassuring to me is that apparently the school was kind of suspicious. It sounds like they were definitely suspicious about what was going on because they went to meet with her. And it sounds like they were kind of concerned that there was, even before mom, was reporting this to the sheriff's office, they were concerned that this teacher was getting a little too close to this boy. So there were signs, and it talks about, the boy saying we would only engage with like side hugs and stuff like that. But I just don't think that's appropriate at all. It depends. It's all in what kind of side hug it is. It depends on like the nature of it. You can tell the difference between a side hug that's like just like a little, reassuring type thing and something that's a little too close. So I think that the school officials, it was reassuring to me and refreshing to me that they were seeing signs, and they brought her in. It said on October 1st or 2nd, there are the text messages, and she knows full well what she's doing is wrong, according to the text messages, because she's like, they brought in HR, and she has to explain to this kid that HR is human resources, and that's what happens when you're going to get in trouble. And she's telling, but what grosses me out is, as a mom and as like a human being, stick to your story.
Well, this is the difference between schools that handle this effectively and schools that don't. I'm a former sex crimes prosecutor. I now investigate sexual misconduct for schools. And I wrote about this in my novel Open Bar, that often there are occasions where people see boundary blurring behavior in organizations, especially in educational institutions. And because it's not explicitly sexual or clearly sexual, people will ignore it and not say anything. And almost always when you see abuse, sexual abuse of a younger person by an authority figure, by a teacher, there's some precursor activity before sexual interactions, which is the boundary blurring, touching, language, things that aren't clearly prohibited by school policy but are very, very concerning. And the schools that are responsible step in at that point to intervene and head off or try to head off more egregious misconduct. And they also have a culture and a climate in the school where people are encouraged to report things that they see like this. So here they did take action, but tragically we've seen so many organizations, especially schools, who have seen things like this and said, well, it's not explicit, it's not extremely clear, we're just going to back off and see if something worse develops. And many times it does develop in a much more horrendous way. So schools need to step in earlier when they see this kind of boundary blurring behavior before it gets worse.
Are you concerned that possibly there was another line crossed into the physical? I mean, the boy was pretty adamant with the law enforcement that nothing physically sexual ever happened. But
that nigga could be lying, bro. Like, don't take his word for it. Look at you. Like, you proving my point, baby. Like, go off what the evidence look like. But
could he just not be revealing that? I mean, she's sending DoorDash to his house, sending him money on Cash App, things of that nature. Or are you confident that maybe it didn't get to that point?
Well, we have no evidence that there was a physical relationship. Could it have happened?
Y'all would never know. The fuck?
Or we just don't know, but law enforcement certainly has to move only on evidence that they have. The messages don't show conversations about physical interactions. The boy here, the victim, is not saying, he's saying that there was not physical interactions. Well, we may not know if he's being truthful about that, but certainly there's no evidence to go forward from law enforcement's perspective if they don't have any basis for that. I've also seen a lot of abusive situations like this where it's not physical, but it is electronic. There's photos, there's videos, there's gifts, and that can be very manipulative and damaging also. So we see that many times even though there's not physical sexual activity.
Well, Dan, I don't know about you, but I am reassured and really thankful that the school took immediate action because they fired her. I mean, that's what it says in the police report. These schools, they don't comment on personnel issues and all this stuff. But, I mean, they fired her. And that's great because they did not wait. They did not let this fester. And she's 22 years old. So we don't know how long she was working at the school, but you can't be a teacher for very long, at 22 years old. So thank goodness she wasn't in the system all that long. And would you be shocked, though, if something more comes out of this, if possibly other victims come forward?
We have no evidence of that, but I know in other cases I've investigated, often there is a pattern of misconduct that sometimes when someone is publicly charged with a crime like this, that may embolden other people to come forward who weren't coming forward before. But we have no evidence of other people right now. She is innocent until proven guilty, but certainly the electronic evidence, the photos, the text messages show a very, very inappropriate sexualized relationship, even if it's not physical, with this boy who's only 13 while she's in her 20s. So that's very concerning. And I'm sure law enforcement's going to further investigate to see if there are other people who might have more information or might have had inappropriate interactions in this situation.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be investigating as well. I'm just glad that, that.
Like I said, it won't her first time, and he won't the first little nigga that she done tried that with. You feel me?
This boy's mother took action. The school took action, and let's hope that nothing more actually happened here, because as you mentioned, he will be scarred by this because it's bad what they detailed. Dan Shore, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to talk with you.
So as I told you at the very beginning, Yesmar Ramos Figueroa spent Thanksgiving weekend in jail, but a judge has set her bail at $5,000 on each charge. She has a private attorney, and one of the conditions of her bail is that she not have any access to the internet, and she is not allowed to have any contact with the teenage boy in this case. So
they barred her from the internet. As they should. Bitch should have been locked up though. Give her some time, cause you're disgusting. You're disgusting, bitch. I'm out of here.